Thanks so much for joining us for this week's City Council Recap. My name is Chris Los. I am joined by Jason. Thank you for being here.
Yep, happy to be here.
And along with Tyler, I appreciate you being here as well, man.
Glad to be here.
Tyler came through last minute.
Right.
You know, things happen, life happens. Jay, you also kind of came through half last minute.
There we go.
And that's how it works. Life is that way. Things happen. That's why we would love for you to be a part of the team. All you have to do is watch the council meeting, take down some notes, and join us. And we go through it together. We learn together. I have learned a lot from our team in general. Sitting with different people, you learn so much about it. So kgemtv@gmail.com is the perfect spot. Send an email. If you want to go to the website, you can too. Just reach out, say would like to know more about the recap. We'll get back to you. And we would love to have you be here. We are not always in this beautiful of a spot, though. I'll be honest with you.
True.
No knock to the crew and the team at KGEM. We appreciate y'all. The studio is beautiful. However, we get to sit out here today in front of the library before the holiday parade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big night.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get to it. We're going to recap the meeting from December the 3rd. It was kicked off at 7:33. You're going to hear me throughout the recap shouting out timestamps. Hey, an hour, check this out. That's the link below of the full city council meeting. So you could just see the whole thing there. We're kind of your reference and your shout to where you can find out more information as it goes. The meeting was about 2 hours, not as long as we have seen in the past, kicking off at 7:30. Meeting was in honor of Reagan Page. Welcome to Monrovia. Welcome to the world.
Baby Reagan.
Yes. Invocation and Pledge of Allegiance followed. All council members were in attendance. We had presentations and proclamations. PR1, recognizing the outgoing of Assembly Member Chris Holden. That is 4 minutes, 25 seconds in. Councilmember Spicer shared how he helped with the goal line and get all of that done.
Yeah.
There were also a lot of other cool comments. You got to work with him?
Right, yeah. So I was with the Youth Legislators Program with Assemblymember Chris Holden, and it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot from him. And, as I said in the meeting, he's done so much as far as, public safety, improving our schools and protecting the environment. And, when he said he wants to invest in our community, he meant it and he delivered. And I think that's something that the City Council mentioned. And so Assemblymember Harabidian has big shoes to fill.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Tell me one of your favorite moments from being able to see how kind of it all works.
So he had a block party once, and it's in Pasadena. And, it's a festive event, everybody's happy, and, he spoke about some of the legislation that he was working on. And then there were these drummers that came out, and all of a sudden you just see the assembly member come into the picture, put his cap on backwards and starts hitting the drums. So
right.
It's just that personable experience, and I think that's why everybody loves him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I had a couple cool basketball conversations with him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hooper to Hooper, that was a cool.
He's actually done a lot to secure funding for Canyon Park.
Right.
Yes.
Throughout the years. And, so really do appreciate the service that he gave to all of this greater community, but particularly the city of Monrovia.
Yeah, absolutely. PR2 recognized the outgoing of Congresswoman Grace Napolitano. That is 12 and a half minutes in roughly as well. Called when we had the Bobcat fire. Dylan kind of shared how much that meant and how he didn't know how she got the number, and was like, but she went out of her way to find out how to get a hold of him and talk to him. There was also a video of her thanking us about 20 minutes in, along with sharing her funding list.
Yeah.
And I was like, looking at that
cities.
list.
Yeah.
14 cities, so
Yeah.
really impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, she gave many, many years, 20 plus years to in this elected position, and is retiring and wasn't able to be there. But Tracy Cooper Harris, one of her staff members, was there to share some gifts, and some experiences. So that was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it was, for me, it was also really getting to see the work that assembly members do. I'm learning a lot of this. I definitely didn't pay attention in class when they were teaching government. I'm aware of all of that now. But as I'm seeing it, Congresswoman Grace Napolitano and what she did, and Assemblymember Holden, the work that goes to get funds to help in situations.
Right.
Yeah.
Whew.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to move instantly, right? When you have a fire, when you have an emergency, how do we get help as a city to see the relationships needed to the government and how they work to get that for us?
Yeah.
It's cool.
And they're available. I mean, you can literally reach out to their offices. You know, well, they're now retiring
Right.
from these
Right.
positions. But any of our, you know, whether it's state representative or you know federal representation, you can reach out to their office and share thoughts, share opinions, get answers, and yeah, you know, that's what they're the elected.
Yeah.
Right? You know?
Yeah. After that, it was definitely an interruption in the meeting hall as Santa busts in to give out gifts.
Yes,
So
candy canes.
the tour kicks off December 9th. You can find the map for his route. He's coming by our block on Thursday.
That's true.
I paid attention to that
Yep.
part. I'm like, hold on, the map. Boom,
Thursday
boom, boom.
night.
Thursday
We will
night.
see him. Yep.
So watch out. Now, listen, don't complain because he's going to keep moving. Santa's got a lot of stops to make happen here in Monrovia. It's a small town, and there's not a lot of gas in the vehicles. So Santa keeps it moving and gets to where he's got to go. So find the map, be out there. It's fun.
You can go to the city website and they have QR codes there. They also have a Santa tracker. So if it's your night,
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can figure out where Santa is and about how long it's going to be before they actually get to your street. So yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah, bundle up, go out front, you'll be
Yeah.
good. There after that, PR3, Annette from the library,
Yeah.
who is awesome. Can I just say, every time I've been in there, Annette's
Fantastic.
one of the kindest, most knowledgeable, helpful, incredible
The whole
people.
staff in the library is
Absolutely.
spectacular.
Yeah. Shared winners from our annual Friends of the Monrovia Library bookmark contest. I do enjoy this part of the year, like every
yeah.
year.
Yeah, it's really neat. I mean, if you haven't seen them, they're on display. There's digital versions of them. I know that our city manager, Dylan Feek, is going to send out a link to see all them. There were, I think there was like 12.
How many? Yeah, I want to say 12.
12,
Yes.
12 different winners from adults all the way down to age 2.
2, Daniel.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Daniel. 2 years old. I was
2
like,
years old.
amazing.
Yeah.
Did you ever do a bookmark?
I didn't.
Okay.
No. I wish I would have.
I know. Well, it's not too late.
Yeah.
You're an adult.
You're an adult.
Yeah,
you
I
can
can do
do
it
it.
now.
It works. I might have to do it. I might do it
There
next
you
year.
go. Yeah.
So go to the library. Miss Hollandhurst did the presentation. 30 minutes in, you can see everybody acknowledged. And stop by the library. You can get the bookmarks. You can check them out for yourself. They're still here right now.
Yeah.
Through the holiday. Let me see. No student government report. It's getting into break time, end of the year. Students are enjoying life. Consent calendar was followed. CC1 through CC9 was being voted on. All this information you can get on the city website, so you're aware of what these different items are. There was an amendment to CC9 for the Canyon Park facilities. That is 38 minutes in. They made the amendment. Everything was motioned on and moved through following that. Public hearings, PH1. So PH1, public hearings 1 meetings. I'm learning that too, because I didn't know what PH1, I was like, okay, public hearing. Potential development of parcels of land. Arcadia Monrovia, James, the consultant from the project, was representing the owners. He was there. He discussed R2 zoning. Arcadia has 2 units on it right now, with Monrovia's portion allowing for 2 more units.
Yeah, so it's a unique space where the owners of the property own parcels that are adjacent to one another, one in Arcadia, one in Monrovia. And this was just an open public hearing to discuss. Both cities didn't have a problem with the merging of them.
Yeah.
So this was just a discussion to say, yes, we're going to move forward with it. No building permits as of yet. There were a couple of public comments.
Yeah. Gregory and Miss Garcia were there. They were kind of bummed they're going to lose the sunshine, the green space, and have to look at a building now as opposed to. So I get it. You know, your neighborhood is changing. The item was moved on unanimously an hour in. You can see it for yourself. City manager report followed around an hour, 5 minutes in on the link below. Dylan shared how they're working with MUSD on the fencing, the parking.
Yeah, so many of you driving around town have seen the new fencing going up at the 5 at the elementary schools. And there was some concern about getting emergency vehicle access if something did happen.
Right.
And so the city's working with the school district to make sure that those changes get made so that everything is safe.
Yeah.
We also talked about the fixing of the Chamber of Commerce window down the street here.
7 folks from the city have retired with over 210 years combined.
Yeah, it's
Craig
amazing.
Jimenez was one of them, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I worked with him and he was fantastic. So I was sad to see that he retired, but I also worked with Cherry and she's fantastic.
I
So
met
he's
Sherry
gonna do an
recently.
excellent
I
job.
think
Yeah.
she will
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked her passion.
Dylan also talked about there's going to be a meeting to update Measure K.
Yes.
For those of you who don't remember or know what Measure K is, about a year and a half ago or so, 2 years ago, the city of Monrovia passed an increase in the sales tax, a 0.75 increase in the sales tax, which then the city takes that money and utilizes it for improvements around the city
Yeah. Okay.
at the discretion of the city council.
Jason, is that any improvements or was that specific improvements?
So there was a whole tour that the city manager and members of the council went around town
Right, I
to
remember.
solicit public opinion on that. And so they take the public opinion and they use it. I mean, it can be anywhere from infrastructure to buildings
Yeah.
to providing additional services. Mental health services was a big request by a lot of
Yeah.
people, trying to solve some of the unhoused problems. So it's still in the works. It's still there. I mean, we're still paying for it every time we buy something in Monrovia.
Yeah.
And so the good thing is that money stays in our community and goes
Yes.
to improve our city.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we should get an update, I think he said, at the next meeting?
They're having a meeting, a Measure K meeting next week to update it. There wasn't a whole bunch of details on that, but I think we'll know more at the next meeting on his report.
Perfect. So that's an hour 5 in on the link below. RCM2 was talking about going dark in August, the different options. That's basically just time off, correct? Or was it study time?
Well, every year they do the last 2 weeks of August has been dark with all of the commission and council meetings. Most of the council members were fine with, having August be dark in general for all of that. But they received direction to go and solicit or get more information from the city commissions to figure out what their thoughts on the process was. So then they'll come back with some recommendations at the next board meeting.
Cool. City council reports followed. Hour 25 in, Edward Belden started it off, talked about the Thankful and Grateful event, which I was here for,
Yeah.
got to represent as a city delegate. Super cool, really fun, right here at the park. It was beautiful. And then seeing the tree lighting, don't have to go all the way to New York to get that no snow, right? You get it right here in Monrovia, right here in front of the library. But it was a great event. Chief of Police retirement. Also, he mentioned the Small Business Saturdays on Myrtle. Councilmember Spicer followed. I did not know that there were about to be 94 floats.
That's huge. 94 different
That's a lot.
floats
Wow.
tonight at the Monrovia Holiday Parade.
Holiday parade
Yeah.
happening right here.
Yeah.
KJM is setting up. It's a lot happening. Don't park on these streets right over here because they will get you. Okay, and the signs are up. So just to let you know, if you're pulling up right, just be
so
aware.
you want to make sure it's 7:00 tonight. But get here early. Try to reserve yourself a spot. All the restaurants, businesses will be open. If you haven't done it before, it's an amazing experience. People from not just Monrovia, but from all over the
All
valley,
over,
come to participate in it. And if you have been, well, you know how fun it is. So
Yeah, so that's happening. Also talked about submitting your house for holiday home decorations before the 9th. So there is a map for that. Good tour. Hold on, didn't Jason?
neighbors, yeah.
Our neighbors represented.
Oh, wow.
Tyler, shout out to Jason and Maureen. They always do it big.
the last 2 years they've won something.
They have.
I forget what it was. Yeah.
They have, but it's fun. It's on the city website.
Yeah, so
get the map.
So you have to submit your property by the 9th.
Yes.
And judging will be on the 12th, and then they create a citywide list of all of the houses that participated and those that received the different awards. So you can actually take that city map and just go and drive around at night. It's really fun.
Yeah.
We do it with the kids every year. It's really fun.
It's great. Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Kelly just talked about promotions within the police department, shouted out supporting local businesses as well, which was echoed by all the council, which is great and I agree with. And as often as possible, let's support every business we can. If there's a spot that you've been waiting to go to, take the time to go.
On and off Myrtle, not just downtown, but all over the city.
Yeah. There's plenty of businesses and everyone could use help.
Yes.
Councilmember Jimenez mentioned the community prayer breakfast. There was the most people they have ever had.
180, I think, is
Yeah,
what they said.
correct.
Yeah.
A lot of people there. Also mentioned local businesses. Battle of the Badges. Shout out to the fire department for winning the game.
Hooping it up.
Yeah, hooping it up at the high school. So, and all that money was going to, I forget which organization, but it was going to help young people
Which is good.
here in the city.
Good across the
Yeah.
board. Yeah, it's really good.
Also thanked Alan for his service, Chief Allen, who is retiring. Hour 34 in, Mayor Shevlin also mentioned the prayer breakfast with 180 being the most ever. Talked about donating toys. There's a Tired Iron event coming up where you could take an unwrapped toy. You can also do it to our fire department. She wasn't sure if it was like the end of the year or...
I mean, it always goes all the way up until Christmas. It's called the Spark of Love that happens all across, I think, LA County.
Right, yes.
I think all across LA County. So you can do that. Foothill Unity. You can also
Yep.
donate. There's lots of different places you can find information. And that'll also be on the city manager's update for sure.
Yeah, which you mentioned, tap in with. I enjoy getting it every Friday from Dylan, just kind of seeing what's going
Yep.
on,
Yep.
catch up on things. It's a great resource, especially if you're new to the city and want to find out where to go. It's got kind of everything for you. County will be expanding to 9 supervisors. Also mentioned that. What is that?
So at the last election, there was a measure for LA County, because right now we have a limited number of supervisors. And so there was a ballot measure that would increase the number of supervisors across the county, and then also create an appointed kind of a chief executive officer. So that's in the process. They're kind of going through that right now. And I know that Mayor Shevlin was a part of that discussion. She asked some questions, and yeah, I guess we'll learn more as we move forward until the next elections. I'm sure.
Right. No, that was cool. Like, I gotta believe that's a good thing, right? When you have more people that are covered across and one person kind of helping facilitate.
Yeah, I mean,
ideal.
if you think about how large LA County is, and if we had just a small handful, like it was 6, I think, supervisors.
Right.
I think it was. So they're expanding it to a larger number so that you're representing a smaller, like a smaller population of people,
And 3 more.
geographic and also in terms of population.
That's significant.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Adding to that. So that'll be cool. AR1, about an hour 40 in. There's a city attorney discussion around campaign financing, disclosing finances, better reporting or different reporting, regulating political contributions. I learned so much during this part of the meeting because
Yeah.
I always wondered, like, what do they do after, like, I'm thinking of Trump in 2020 when he loses. Does he get to just take the 200 million or whatever and go shopping, right? So, like, Kamala could be wilding right now, like having parties like all day. Like, how did the expense? What does it go? So, and I never knew that there was a cap or like what that cap amount was for donating and contributing to campaigns.
Yeah. So I mean, there is a cap that was put in place a number of years ago. Currently, the state of California sets a $5,500 limit per individual to donate to a campaign, and so the council wanted to explore the possibility and asked our city attorney Craig to look into that. He's got tremendous amount of years and years of experience in campaigns, and so they talked about, because $5,500, just a couple of those donations, and you can run a city election here.
Because it's about what, $10,000 to $15,000 to run.
It can be, yeah,
about that.
It can be. So they talked about it. I think that most people were in favor of lowering that. We talked about the surrounding cities that have already done it, anywhere down to $250. The city of LA is at $900. Pasadena is considering around $1,000, $1,500. So we're exploring different ideas. The city manager and city attorney received directives from the council to look into that a little bit more, and that issue will be brought back at a future council meeting to be discussed.
That also feels realer, right? Like you got to go campaign, raise funds instead of just having like a couple of wealthy friends that are just like, here you go,
Yeah.
and now you're off.
Yeah, I think most people could agree that we want to try to have a little bit more control over money into campaigns.
Yeah.
And it also, we're a tight-knit community. We want to make sure that the people of our community are the ones that are supporting and representing and funding our local elections. So I think it's a real positive step. They talked about some problems with enforcement. But that's not just here in terms of our city, but it happens everywhere. And how do you regulate it? And by the time that you could enforce it, the election's over. But you have to have some reform in there to make it a little bit fairer.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it was Councilmember Jimenez mentioned liking to lower it to 1,000. I think they kind of landed somewhere with them all agreeing between 1,500 and 900 and 1,500 somewhere, or 1,100.
Yeah. Well,
11
people
or 15.
There wasn't an exact number that everybody
correct.
agreed upon because it was just discussion.
Yes.
There were a couple of public comments. Myself, I wasn't able to be at the meeting, but I did send a letter in. Another resident, Larry Murata, also sent in a letter. I suggested 900, and I don't remember what other people suggested, but we'll see where it goes.
Like 1,000. Yeah, we'll see. I did shout out to Melissa Taylor, who's also a part of the recap team and super involved in so many things. But I loved what she was saying and just supporting for enforcing local policy and like financial regulation, and how she articulated it was amazingly. Go 2 hours in on the link below. I think everyone kind of agreed.
And she ran for office in town, and so she knows firsthand, the influence that big money coming in can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mayor Shevlin asked the question about this does not affect self-funding. So if you were paying for your own, that's different.
Yeah.
Correct. Attorney mentioned Baldwin Park is about $950, Alhambra's $1110. So those are a couple comparables in the area. 2 hours and 10 minutes in, Dylan talked about expenses, prosecution, a little bit kind of what you were talking about there. After that, Janie Duncan is retiring from her work at the Foothill Kitchen. She won an M-Town award at the house party at the park.
Yeah.
I had never met Janie until that. And I'm like, this woman is amazing.
Yeah.
And it was so resounding, like, you know how when you're just like, hey, who would you nominate? Why would you nominate him for the work here in town?
Yeah.
Everybody said Janie.
It was like Janie Duncan, Tom Brady, Janie Duncan, Tom Brady, Janie Duncan, Janie Duncan, Tom. I was like, we're giving it to both of them. But like when you're doing that much with the community and to see it echoed that way. Thank you, Janie, for everything you've done here in the town for so many decades. The people you've taken care of literally by feeding them and being there for them in
literally
real moments of life. When it matters most. So thank you. Next meeting is December 17th. They adjourned at 9.
There's one more thing that we forgot to mention is in our city manager's reports, the last thing, and he said, sorry for the bad news, is that the Monrovia Canyon Park is set to have a grand reopening for December, but they're having some issues with Edison. They're improving the power structure there to transport water from the bottom of the park to the top of the park, and Edison runs at a little bit slower pace, and so they don't want to say it's going to be in January, but they're just going to make sure they get everything done before the opening so that it's all good to go for that time. So we'll just have to wait a little bit longer. We can do it.
We've been waiting.
I know.
I'll wait a little longer. Well, that's going to do it. That wrapped it up right there. Tyler, any final thoughts or takes? Anything we missed?
No.
Cool. Jay?
All good.
How about you? Cool. Well, we are good. We're going to wrap up so the KGM crew can get ready for this holiday parade. Make sure you go to KGM. Find them on YouTube. You'll definitely catch up on a lot. They're everywhere here in town. The work they do is amazing. Plus, you can be a member of KGM. Just go to the office, kgmtv@gmail.com. Get plugged in. This is one of the only public access networks in the country that is truly about free speech. One of two in our country.
It's amazing.
This is one of two There
Yep.
are public access networks. They are not able to do what this space does. So thank you to David, the team couldn't make it happen. Garrett, Chris, Michael, appreciate y'all.
And to Chris
Yeah,
for
Chris.
making this happen, for the city council recaps, the school board recaps. It's just a great way for us all to get involved. So thank you.
Yeah, man, thanks for doing it. We will catch you at the next recap. Thanks so much.